In this lesson, we're going to take a look at using the OWASP ZED Attack Proxy, or ZAP. Now, there are a lot of different ways that I could use ZAP, and it's really very similar to tools like Burp Suite or other proxy-based web application testers. One of the things about ZAP, though, is I don't necessarily have to use it in proxy mode. What I could do is use it in the quick start mode here, where all I have to do is plug in a URL, and I'm going to do 172.30.42.55, and now I could just do the attack. It's going to run through the attack here, and I've got all of my data down to the bottom, and see what I've got here for results. This is my active scan that's running now. And I've got some results here from the active scan. You can see it looks like we're vulnerable to cross-site scripting here. And actually, if I were to come up here, I could go to the individual pages. Again, it's very similar to Burp Suite in terms of having the sites here and the pages that are visited. And similar to Burp Suite, I can take a look at the request and the response based on a given page. Again, this is a proxy-based web application testing tool. And of course, I could just use Firefox here to go through the ZED Attack Proxy, assuming I've got it set up to use the local proxy. And in this case, I do have it set up to do that. I'm going to add in a URL that it probably didn't have. And looks like I have an internal server error. Let's take a look at ZAP and see what we actually have here. Now I've got the DVWA, and we did a get on that. And the request was simply get DVWA. And the response, I actually have an internal server error. Something's wrong with that particular site. And I could do a little bit more digging and see whether maybe something in the request caused the error, or maybe there's just something wrong on the web server. But again, I've got the ability to go to the quick start here and just do some URL attacking, or I could use just the proxy-based setup here and do it in that way. Again, I've got the ability to just do the quick start here, or I could go to Firefox and do some browsing around through some different pages and load the ZED Attack Proxy up in that way. Once I'm there, I could do an attack, I can do a spider, I can do some different testing, including a forced browse. And a forced browse is going to actually do some brute force testing to see if it can find different directories that may not have been available otherwise. In this case, I'm going to have to select a directory listing, and I'm going to select the site, and then I can actually run. And it's going to run through the directory listing for me and see what we've got that's available that may not have turned up in just a spider. That's how you would use ZED Attack Proxy, again, in a very similar way to Burp Suite. Now, ZED Attack Proxy does have some slightly different capabilities, or at least it does things in a slightly different way. We'll take a look at doing fuzzing as an example with ZED Attack Proxy coming up in a subsequent lesson.